Hey traders, John Howell here. In this video, I'm going to give you a bit of a charting technique, basically a technique that I use to help me understand what's actually happening in that market. Are we in a strength move? Are we in a weak move? So anyway, let me get straight into it right now. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There are so many areas you need to become good at to become a good trader. Emotional mastery, chart reading, trading systems, money and trade management. So this video is just educational only to help you become a much better trader. Alright traders, so in this video I want to teach you a chart reading technique that I think is really important. Now I used to use the stochastics a lot, but I don't use them all the time, right? I don't use them all the time. For most of my trading, I don't use them at all. But if I'm trying to gauge the internal strength of a particular move, then I'm going to look at that. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about here. When we actually have a move in the markets, the stochastics are really good at picking turning points. So if I look at the stochastics, now I don't just gauge everything off the stochastics, but the stochastics along with chart reading is going to be key. So let me actually talk about this here. You see this point through here, we saw the stochastics through here. And you can see how the market came all the way down through there and bottomed out. It came all the way down through there, and it was around about this here is when the stochastics started to bottom out here. As you can see, right? So the market actually kept coming down. So that was actually showing a lot of weakness. But have a look at this here, right? We actually a lot of weakness in the market, so the market actually had a big drop down. But look at this here. And this is what I've been saying in my past videos. This is just one of my key indicators that I'm looking at to say this market's likely to turn because it's getting weak. Look at this here. If we have a look at this move down from here to here, we can see that. But look how far this buying move came up. It came up very little, right? Just really little. It's actually been struggling a lot. Now let me see if I can do that, make that pencil just a bit thinner. So we go to that one. You can see if you look at this part here on the S&P 500, you see how this, from this move here to this move here, it's just been a very little move. Okay, very little move. But look how the stochastics just shot up to this level really quickly and now are turning over. Can you see that? That shows me that this level here is exhausted. The buyers are struggling, and the stochastics are showing me that the market is struggling through here. And if you look at this on the Russell, the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones, you'll be able to see the same thing. So when I'm trying to read the internal strength of a particular market, whether it's an index or a FTF such as gold or silver or a stock, I'm always looking at the stochastics to show me what is actually happening there, because the stochastics along with price action reading can actually help you that. So what I mean by that is this. You can see the market actually had a big run down through here with these strong sellers, and you can see the stochastics came down through there really quickly, right? So we had a big strong run down, and the stochastics came down as well too, right? It's basically, it makes sense. So what ended up happening here was this, right? We had a big strong run down, and then the market started to run up through here. The buyers are very weak. We didn't get some big shooting out of the cannon buyers. We actually been failing through here, and look what happened here. The stochastics came over and started pointing down straight away. So whenever we're getting this sort of period through here where we're getting these big strong sellers and we're getting a weak buyers, and the stochastics is shooting up over there really quickly, then that's showing me that this is very weak, as in like it's very weak here. And that's why I've been saying that's why I say one of my indicators has been telling me that we're likely to head down based on what we're seeing through here, right? And if you look at the Nasdaq, you look at the Russell, they're all at the same situation where they're all failing through here. The market's not pushing higher. So I'm not saying just use the stochastics by itself, because you need a lot more than that. What I am saying, if you read the chart, such as the strength in the move, strong sellers, weak buyers, and then you've got the stochastics timing in that, it gives you a clear picture, very clear picture on what's actually happening right now. Now, yes, it can change. It can hold here and start running back up. That's the game of trading, right? But when you're starting to look at probabilities of what's happening, and you look over time, the market is showing you what is actually happening. So if you look at, say, the stochastics over the last sort of couple months, you can see this point through here and that point was through there, and we turn, and that was that point through there, and that was that point through there, and we actually went sideways, you know, and then we turned through there. I was at that point through there, and we turned, came down, we had a turning point there, eventually went up. When the stochastics got up to that point there, that was that point up through there. The market came down to that point through there, that was around about that point through there. Now look where we are right now. But when we're actually looking at this, you can see how, look at this here. We can see how we had this lower peak, right? So we're getting slightly lower peak, very deep lower peak. So because we're getting slightly lower peak, and then a deep lower peak, along with the stochastics, along with this strong sellers, weaker buyers, like a bear flag formation, that's showing a lot of weakness. This is the reason why I build a picture based on what the chart is telling me, and I use the stochastics to help me gauge with what is actually happening in the markets. Hey, it's Howell here, and thanks so much for watching my video. You see, I'm putting out daily videos and education on helping you learning the art of successful trading. So click on the subscribe button to keep up to date with every video I do. Also, check out my story video, $250,000 in debt, cancer, overweight, family passing away, lived on the streets, and more, and how I overcome it and now thriving through my life. This is here to motivate you, so click on that image to watch my video. And lastly, if you're struggling with your trading, then you need to see my latest webinar where I'm sharing with you an amazing strategy that allows you to generate an income without getting the direction right. So click on that image on this page to register for my next free webinar. This is Howell here. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears today.